Imagine this. You're caught in a fierce argument. Your pulse races. Every word feels like a dagger, every comeback a shield. You're crafting the perfect response, determined to prove you're right. But the other person? They're doing the exact same thing. Neither of you is truly listening, just waiting for the next chance to strike. Then a figure steps in. Let's call her S. She doesn't take sides. She doesn't tell you what to say. Instead, she leans in and whispers something chilling. You're already defeated. What does she mean? You're fighting. You're holding your ground. How could that be defeat? Because, according to S, the moment you dive into this kind of battle, you've already given up your power. True strength, she says, doesn't come from winning arguments. It comes from something far more surprising: letting go. So, what is this hidden power? And why does walking away often speak louder than words? Let's dive into this philosophy and uncover the secret that gives you real control. Most people think power comes from crushing opponents, outsmarting rivals, or having the last word. But the ancient Stoic philosopher Seneca had a radically different view. He believed power wasn't in fighting, it was in choosing not to fight. Let's explore why we get trapped in pointless battles and how letting go can make you unstoppable. Why do we fight? If you've ever been in a heated debate, you know how fast things spiral. But have you ever stopped to ask, why do we fight in the first place? Seneca would argue that most conflicts aren't about truth, they're about deeper psychological drives. Let's break it down. Ego defense. When someone challenges your ideas, it feels like they're attacking you. Admitting you're wrong threatens your sense of self, so you fight to protect it. Control cravings. Many arguments are less about facts and more about who gets to steer the conversation. It's a tug of war for dominance: who speaks loudest, who sets the tone. Social approval. Some people argue not because they care about the issue, but because they want to look clever or confident in front of others. Seneca saw these as signs of weakness. The moment you let someone pull you into an emotional slugfest, you're no longer in charge, they are. You've handed them the reins. Seneca's philosophy: the strength of indifference. Seneca's Stoicism teaches that true power lies in mastering your own mind. His concept of apatheia, not apathy, but freedom from emotional disturbance, means you don't let others dictate how you feel. The ideal Stoic, what we might call the sage, doesn't get sucked into petty disputes. They choose when to engage and when to walk away, because power isn't about shouting, it's about controlling your response. Picture this. You're in a heated team meeting. One colleague is loud, aggressive, trying to steamroll everyone. Another sits quietly, listening, unruffled. They don't interrupt, don't raise their voice. But when they finally speak, their words are sharp, clear, and shift the entire room. Who holds the power? Seneca would say it's the one who stays calm, who doesn't let emotions take the wheel. They win not by fighting, but by choosing their battles. Why walking away wins? Letting go isn't surrender, it's a weapon. When you choose not to engage, you flip the script. Here's why walking away is so powerful. It disrupts expectations. When you refuse to argue, you leave others grasping for control. They expect a fight, and your calm indifference throws them off. It reveals strength. Staying silent or stepping back shows you don't need to prove yourself. It signals confidence, not weakness. It saves energy. Every argument drains you. By letting go, you preserve your focus for what truly matters. The Stoic sage doesn't just walk away randomly. They do it strategically. A well-timed exit or a refusal to engage can shift the dynamic, making others rethink their approach. This is why Seneca's power isn't about fighting, it's about owning the moment before the fight even starts. 3 Masters of Strategic Retreat. Seneca's ideas aren't just theory. History's greatest minds used the power of letting go to dominate. Let's explore 3 figures who mastered this art: Lao Tzu, Nelson Mandela, and Cleopatra. Lao Tzu, the power of flow. The ancient Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu, founder of Taoism, taught the principle of wu-wei action through inaction. Instead of forcing your will, you flow like water, adapting without resistance. Imagine a rival warlord challenging Lao Tzu's wisdom. Instead of debating, Lao Tzu would smile, ask a simple question like, "What is strength?" The warlord, eager to prove himself, would ramble, only to trip over his own logic. Lao Tzu didn't need to fight, let his opponent defeat themselves. By stepping back, he controlled the exchange, proving that less is often more. Nelson Mandela, the strength of patience. Nelson Mandela faced unimaginable conflict, yet his greatest victories came from restraint. During his 27 years in prison, he could have let anger consume him. Instead, he listened, learned, and waited. When he emerged, he didn't seek revenge, he negotiated peace, disarming his enemies with calm resolve. Mandela knew that reacting emotionally gives power to others. By letting go of bitterness, he shaped a nation. His silence spoke louder than any speech. Cleopatra, the art of strategic charm. Cleopatra, Egypt's legendary queen, didn't win battles with swords, she won them with strategy. When Roman leaders like Julius Caesar or Mark Antony tried to dominate her, she didn't argue or resist. She listened, charmed, and subtly shifted the conversation to her advantage. By letting others underestimate her, she gained their trust, then outmaneuvered them. Cleopatra's power was in knowing when to speak and when to let silence do the work. The common thread: power through restraint. What unites Lao Tzu, Mandela, and Cleopatra? They didn't waste energy on pointless fights. They controlled the terms of engagement. They understood that true power isn't in reacting, it's in choosing not to react. The next time you're tempted to argue, ask yourself, am I in control or am I being controlled? Why do we keep fighting? Why do we feel compelled to argue, to prove we're right, even when it's going nowhere? Seneca would say it's because we're wired for conflict. Modern psychology backs him up. Let's unpack it. Cognitive biases. Our brains are built to win, not learn. Confirmation bias makes us cherry-pick facts that support us. The backfire effect makes us cling harder to beliefs when challenged. These biases trap us in pointless debates. Emotional hooks. Arguments aren't just about ideas, they're about identity. When someone disagrees, it feels like a personal attack. That's why political or moral debates get so heated. It's not the topic, it's our sense of self. Need for approval. Deep down, many of us argue to be seen as smart or strong. We crave validation from others, what Seneca called slavery to opinion. The sage, though, seeks no one's approval, they define their own worth. The Stoic secret: mastering yourself. Seneca's philosophy aligns with modern research on power dynamics. Studies show that the most influential people don't talk the most. They listen, pause, and speak with purpose. For example, research by psychologist Adam Grant. Emotional restraint signals authority, while reactivity betrays weakness. Walking away or staying silent creates a psychological edge. Others feel the weight of your calm. Here's how to wield this power. Pause before you speak. A moment of silence lets you assess and control your emotions. Ask, don't argue. Like Lao Tzu, use questions to shift the dynamic. Let others reveal their flaws. Know when to exit. Like Cleopatra, walk away when the fight isn't worth your energy. Focus on your purpose. Like Mandela, let your actions, not your words, prove your strength. The real victory. Seneca's whisper, "You're already defeated," means that when you let someone drag you into their emotional storm, you've lost your power. True strength isn't in winning arguments, it's in mastering yourself. The next time you feel the urge to fight, pause, let go, walk away. That's not defeat, it's victory. Because the most powerful person isn't the one who speaks the loudest, it's the one who doesn't need to speak at all. What's the most pointless argument you've ever had? Drop it in the comments, and let's talk about how letting go could have changed the game. If you found this video eye-opening, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more deep dives into the ideas that shape our lives. Until next time, stay curious and stay in control.